Donald Trump trying to refocus his campaign today as he is heading to North Carolina, now calling the Madison Square Garden rally a love fest and brushing off the storm of criticism that has come after that racist joke was told about Puerto Rico. Donald Trump now calling it not a big deal. CNN's Steve Contorno is in North Carolina ahead of Trump's events today. Steve, what are you expecting today?
Well, we've seen him over the last couple of days really lean into the immigration rhetoric that has been such a focal point of his campaign. Last night, he also responded to Vice President Harris's speech in a very late night Truth Social post coming at 2:30 a.m. saying, quote, "The speech was terrible, full of lies, and nothing new. Where are the jobs? There are none." Now, I will point out that the unemployment rate is 4.1%, 3.8% actually here in North Carolina, where Trump will be speaking later today. Donald Trump also on social media attempting to seize on President Joe Biden's inarticulate attempts to poke fun at or criticize that joke about Puerto Rico and suggesting that his supporters are garbage. Trump responding by saying, quote, "You can't lead America if you don't love the American people." Now, the Harris campaign and others have pointed out that Trump has called Harris's supporters the enemy of the people. He has said her Jewish supporters should have their heads examined. So clearly, he has a role in some of this rhetoric as well. He also yesterday continued to respond to that joke himself, and we are now, 48 hours afterward. He's still continuing to be forced to answer questions about it. Listen to what he told Sean Hannity last night about his view of what was said.
I've had great relationships with Hispanics, but I've had really great relationship with Puerto Rico and people from Puerto Rico. They love, every time I go outside, I see somebody from Puerto Rico. They give me a hug and a kiss. Who this comedian was, I have no idea.
You wish he wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but I don't want anybody making nasty jokes or stupid jokes. But probably he shouldn't have been there, yeah.
Trump has two stops today, one planned just behind me in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. He will also be in the swing state of Wisconsin in Green Bay later today. Kate?
Rocky Mount is a good place. Steve, Trump is looking like he's trying to lay the groundwork already to challenge the outcome of the election in Pennsylvania, the election results in Pennsylvania if he loses, because he's already trying to stoke voter fraud fears where there isn't. What is he telling his supporters, just to put the claim out there, and then what are the facts?
Yeah, yesterday, Donald Trump in Pennsylvania seizing on this news that in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, there are reports, the allegations that there were 2,500 voter registration cards where authorities said they found addresses that didn't match, signatures that didn't match, and they are investigating. It's a sign of, in many respects, the process working, that these people attempted to push through potentially fraudulent voter registration cards, and instead they were caught. And Donald Trump, like I said, seizing on this news, suggesting that it means that something untoward is already happening in Pennsylvania, a very critical battleground, a state he just narrowly lost in 2020. And obviously they are trying to create this fear that something similar is going to happen in 2024 that he alleged happened 4 years ago. So just a sign of them already working a week out before the election to sow doubt in with the results that are going to be coming a week from now.
Yeah, the details on this just are easy to understand and matter. The investigation is into voter registration, as you say. This is no indication it has anything to do with voting or ballots. Steve Contorno, good to see you. CNN's Arlette Saenz has more from the White House for us. Arlette, Donald Trump was very quick to try to fundraise off of what President Biden said. What are you hearing from the White House today?
Well, Kate, the White House is trying to clean up President Biden's comments, which have created a political opening for Republicans and a political headache for Vice President Kamala Harris in these closing days of the campaign. Former President Trump's campaign immediately tried to seize on it, sending out a fundraising email saying, quote, "You are not garbage. I love you. You are the best our nation has to offer." J.D. Vance tried to directly tie this to Vice President Harris on social media, saying, "This is disgusting. Kamala Harris and her her boss, Joe Biden, are attacking half of the country. There's no excuse for this. I hope Americans reject it. Now, I want to play for you exactly what President Biden said just last night when he spoke at a Get Out the Vote virtual event with Voto Latino and appeared to refer to Trump supporters as garbage. Take a listen.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
Now, it comes as the Harris campaign had spent the last 48 hours trying to keep the focus on those comments that were made at a Trump rally in New York City on Sunday when a pro-Trump comedian had made this joke that Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. Instead, now they are now dealing with President Biden's comments. Now, the White House really quickly tried to clarify this. They even released a transcript last night where they inserted an apostrophe in the word support, saying that he was referencing specifically those comments that were made up in New York. And they took things even further by having President Biden even post on his political account last night, saying, earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. He added, his demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at that rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. But there's no question that this creates a real distraction in the closing days of the campaign. It immediately drew some comparisons to Hillary Clinton's remarks back in 2016 when she had referred to Trump supporters as a basket of deplorables. Now, it's unclear what kind of impact this could have on the overall race, but I will note President Biden is often someone who has said that the words of a president matter. And this is a stretch of the election when every word, every statement, every mood is being closely scrutinized. And it certainly will likely be something Vice President Harris will face questions about today, even as the White House is trying to clarify the president's remarks.
Arlette Saenz, thank you. John.
All right, with us now, Megan Hayes, former director of message planning in the Biden White House, and Lee Carter, former Republican strategist. Megan, I'll just ask you, message planning, as it were, from the White House. Why doesn't the Harris campaign, or do you think Kamala Harris should take this as an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm cutting him loose. That wasn't me. That was Biden. What he said there was ridiculous. Time to move on.
I mean, she hasn't talked to press today, which I'm sure she will do so at some point or address it in her rally. But I do think this is an opportunity for her to say, this is not how I feel. You know, he made a mistake. He makes gaffes all the time. This is not how I feel. This is how she heard her say that last night, that she wants a new way forward and a new way of leadership. And I think she is saying that in her speech that she had last night. And let's not forget, if we're going to sit here and compare comments that these people are making, Donald Trump literally called the entire country a garbage can less than an hour later. Like, all of these comments are despicable. We should not be talking about this an hour or 5, 6 days before the election. This is time to move forward into new leadership, and I think that the vice president will address that today.
Got it. Now, Lee, as long as we're talking about what supporters of the presidential candidates are saying, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, was campaigning in Pennsylvania in a House district and was talking about Obamacare. I think we have this exchange. Let's play it.
Healthcare reform is going to be a big part of the agenda. When I say we're going to have a very aggressive first 100 days agenda, we got a lot of things on the table.
No Obamacare?
No Obamacare. Yeah, the ACA is so deeply ingrained. We need massive reform to make this work, and we got a lot of ideas on how to do that.
So he says no Obamacare, says massive reform to the healthcare system. Obamacare is pretty popular now. Is he touching a third rail advertently or inadvertently there?
So Obamacare is very, very popular, but what is not popular right now is the cost of health care. And so I think if they were to be more clear about what it is that they're going to be doing to Obamacare, this would be a much more effective message, because everybody right now is going through re-enrollment. They're looking at their premiums going up. They're thinking about the costs of prescriptions. They're thinking about the costs of health care. And when you look at that, you want to hear that there's going to be change, that there's going to be improvement. But I don't think that Speaker Johnson did a great job in conveying what it is that they're going to do. And I don't think Donald Trump has done a good job when he talks about his concepts of a plan rather than a real plan that he has on how to replace.
Do you think healthcare in general is the type of super important issue that it's been in past elections?
I do not. Now, when you look at the polling, Kamala Harris does much better on health care than President Trump does. But it's more like the 5th or 6th most important issue to voters. What is important to voters right now is the cost of things. So when you talk about the cost of health care, that's much more important. But really talking about the cost of goods, the cost of prescription drugs, the cost of insurance, all of that is what's top of mind for voters right now.